Carson Beck of my Georgia Bulldogs quarterback, apparently, reportedly, well, he did transfer. He's gone. He entered the portal. He went to Miami to be with his little Cavender girlfriend, and that's what he's doing. All respect. Brevin, did you know reportedly he's going to make $4 million in 1 year to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins? That is
whoa.
Not the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry. For the Miami Hurricanes.
So he wouldn't make that much.
The Miami Hurricanes. He wouldn't make that much with the Dolphins. No.
$4 million. Yo, times have changed.
So times have changed. So there's money that's out there now. Now, first of all, how does a school like Stanford handle it?
Oh, you get in line like everybody else, so you come up with a NIL collective, whatever you would call it, what they're calling these days, to
raise
figure out how you raise the money to be able to go out and get players. It's just a reality for where it is. And hear about this. In the beginning, it was like a lot of us that were at Stanford was like, well, the thing is, for the people that are going to go to Stanford, you're going to go to Stanford anyway. There's already a smaller pool that you're going to be able to recruit anyway because of the academic standards, and they may get all of the blah, 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 all the stuff we always say. But then you're sitting there watching, not winning and not going to the NCAA tournament. It's like, bro, we need to get some money together, man, get some players. Yeah. Figure out how do we keep players, how do you find good enough players? And so, yeah, you find a way to raise money. Now, it won't be at the same level as these other schools because it's a different impact on our school as it is what a Kentucky needs to do with their school. It's just a different correlation. So, but yeah, if you want to compete and keep up,
yeah,
raise money.
It's unbelievable. If there was a school that could have gotten you away from Stanford, would it just have been the one with the most money, or would it have had to have been the right school? And if so, what school might that have been?
Yeah, I think it would definitely have to be the right school that gave me the most money. Man, listen. I mean, what else? I don't blame these kids, man. When they make these decisions, they say, well, you're going to pay, if it's a substantial amount more. I always say, if it was just going to be $100,000 more, then I'm going to say, well, I'm comfortable here. I like my team. But if you're talking about $1 million, bro, I love all of y'all. I'm going to get your number.
Peace.
I'll text you.
Peace. Welcome, everybody, to Night Court. We are on the road in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. We think we're not really sure. We're not sure if we're on the Riverwalk.
We don't know. We've changed hotels here so many times. We don't know where we are. This is a new hotel that we're in now, and
but I see the Las Palacios right across the street.
Yeah.
So
I always say we're nice. Here. It's a change. We just came from Houston. At the Post Oak Hotel, which is
one of the nicest,
absolutely fabulous. And now we're here at the Santo.
Yeah. All right, this Night Court. I'm Rob Fisher. He's Brevin Knight. You can catch us on Twitter at the Fish Nation, at Brevin Knight 22. The show is at Night Court 22. You can also watch every episode of Night Court on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel as well, and just search Night Court, and you'll be able to watch every episode of this very show. And you can see our beautiful the room. The room is so dark. I don't know how I'm going to get work done.
I feel the same way.
So Grizzlies in the last week. Okay, here's what's happened. We played the Houston Rockets at home, and I hate this word, especially talking about athletes. We were too soft. We just were.
There's a reality. I mean, it
was kind of a wow, okay, that's who these guys really are kind of thing.
45 in the first quarter, about it with the Houston Rockets, and they outplayed the Grizzlies in every area. And the only reason why the Grizzlies stayed around is because they fight. They don't quit. And the Rockets miss free throws.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a test of wills that was one-sided, which was unfortunate. But it was also just another learning experience for I think for this team, in that when you play against teams who continue to look at you as not just another basketball team. I don't think that the Houston Rockets look at this as they want to dominate this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
This every time they have seen this since Udoka's been this, we want to dominate that matchup, and they have done just that, and give them all credit. They wanted it. They came out. They executed. They were flying up and down the floor, fast break points off turnovers. I mean, it was their night.
They won 2 games against the Grizzlies this week by 6 total points.
Yep.
Didn't feel like it, though.
That's why I said, and even with all of what we said and all of how much they dominated in those categories, at the end of the day, the Grizzlies still had a chance to win the game. And a lot of that's just because that's how good they are. But in order to beat those teams that are like the Houston Rockets, there's a standard and a level that you're going to have to rise to in order to play. And I think a big thing in it is that they're going to have to figure out how to still have the same ball movement mentality that they play with at any other time when they play with those teams, because you don't want to get caught into trying to play one style when we play against this team, but then we'll play this style. And when those styles become moving the basketball, everybody moving, touching it, or just standing and watching it. So I think there has to be the happy medium of being able to do both, play with the pace, but still move the ball, because if you see in these Houston games, those assist numbers,
2 lowest of the year.
They're and a lot of it is because they force you to play one-on-one. And why I say the Grizzlies have to enforce their style of play on Houston more than allowing Houston to enforce their style. And I think that's what's happened in those games.
Another thing about Houston, I'm starting not to like them.
It's becoming a pretty good. It's becoming a nice rivalry.
I'm kind of turning. If there was a hill,
right?
I'm kind of at the turn on the hill of not liking Dylan Brooks, and frankly, Steven Adams has gotten there rather quickly himself.
That's what happens. And here's the thing: when we say this, it is in no way the person that you're not.
Love them both.
But it is. But I just don't like you because you're on that team and what you're doing.
I want to beat you. Stop beating us.
Yes. Like you said, we love both. We love both of those guys. But God damn, we want to win.
Steven Adams last Thursday. Didn't see him the first time we played in Houston. He wasn't playing. I don't think I saw him. So when they came to FedEx Forum last Thursday, we were eating down in the eating area, which is right in the middle of a hallway where the players can get off the bus and come into the arena. And Steven Adams came walking in, and all you hear is, "Hey, fellas!" And we all turn around, and the dude just flipped us the double bird. That is just so Steven Adams.
As only Steven Adams would do.
I swore he was going to do it in our broadcast last night on the pregame show. I thought he would come up and give the finger to the camera. I thought he was going to do it just for old time's sake.
Hey, my competitive spirit came out in that game yesterday.
Yeah.
You remember I was telling everybody 2-1. We leaving out of there 2-1. I was
telling people from the Rockets.
All of them.
Players.
Jeff Green. Dylan. I told Van Vliet.
Oh, you did?
I said, we walking out of here 2-1. Just letting y'all know. I told the Rockets TV people. I told all of our TV crew. I felt like I really had something to do with the game and had absolutely nothing to do with the game.
You had a good broadcast, though. All right, the Minnesota win was nice, though.
Yes.
Because that was kind of it was a hard-fought battle. You're wondering, okay, can this team close? And the closer was there, and the closer made the plays when he couldn't make a lot of plays throughout the game. He made the plays that mattered at the end.
It's what makes him different.
Yeah.
Than a lot of people in that he can have the type game he was having, and John Morant just couldn't buy a basket. He was getting good shots, and you have those type nights. But when it was when it came down to it, they put the ball in his hands, and 6 of the last 8 points, he scored 2 baskets, threw the lob to Brandon Clark, had the big shot over Anthony Edwards to win it. But that was a total team. Like you go back and look at it, it was a total team effort. It was. Just I said, Jaren was great second quarter, fourth quarter. Dez was great third quarter. Kind of how he was in the latest Rockets game where he had to do the third quarter situation. But the first quarter, the bench was terrific to keep us back, get us into the game.
Yeah.
And so it was a game that it was nice to win it on the road in that type of environment when it was never a lead loss more than 6 points. So it was nip and tuck the entire night. And so it was just a tightly contested game. We just made the last play.
Top 3 wins of the year: Boston, Phoenix, Minnesota. Would it be in that order?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, Boston was still a big one.
That was something. Yeah, that was fun. All right. Steven Adams, I told you that he says hello with the middle finger. I have that written down. You played Memorial.
Yes. Memorial Park, where they played the Shell Houston Open.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I tell what's so crazy about it is it's literally just a municipal park. So it's like when you pull in, there's people just walking, there's people just playing tennis. It's like just a normal park. And then all of a sudden you pull into this golf course that is just absolutely immaculate. They were setting the stands up for it and everything. So, and played well. That was a good thing. You always like to at least play well.
And then you played today in Houston, and it was cold.
It was cold today. You know, when you went outside, you couldn't believe we played today.
I went out. Well, I hadn't heard from anybody, and so I was like, well, I guess they're golfing because I rolled out of bed about 10.
Got no message,
nothing. So I went outside and it was very, very cold, and I thought, well, you all are crazy. But how did we play in the cold?
That was good. Golf club Houston. I played well in 2 days. Today was good. Today was colder than yesterday. The course was just us. There was nobody else out there.
Yeah,
and it was.
And you almost hold out.
Man, I had a 120-yard shot from the fairway. I was hitting the ball good, and literally. That is my shot right there. The ball embedded in the ground, right in the hole. Like all it had to do was just fall back, just fall in for an eagle. And I had to send it to my buddies to be like, "Hey, you think this is an eagle or is it a birdie?" I was like, "Man, it was such a nice birdie." It's like at least you got you a tap in for a birdie, so you'd have to really putt it to get it in. So yeah, no, that was you. This every now and then when you play golf or you in that way, you hit a shot that you like. Damn, like I think that's what the pros feel like 89% of the time when they hit golf balls. For me, it's 2.9% of the time.
But it feels good, doesn't it?
That for that time when it happens, it's like, oh, it's so good.
Awesome. I Uber Eated twice. And it was great. I got Raising Cane's for the first time in my life.
I still haven't had it.
It was really good, really good, really good, really good. I wouldn't call it life-changing experience, but like some treated. But I'd say really good tenders, really good sauce. The fries are good. The bread's fantastic. You get the bread too.
That's what I want.
And then there's slaw. Slaw was good.
No cost.
I mean, you can throw away the slaw if you want. I'm not going to tell you the slaw makes the meat. It's just there if you want it. But it was good. So that was great. And then I got Jack in the Box. I missed Jack in the Box from St. Louis, and I got it. I got me an ultimate cheeseburger and 2 tacos.
Jesus Christ! Good. Hope you got a lot of walking in. Got some exercise in.
I tripled my daily goal today. I don't know how. My daughter set up my watch, so I don't know, but I could be sitting here in the middle of the show and I'll say congratulations.
Just stand up. I love the stand goal. That's the best.
All right, we're finishing the road trip with 2 games in San Antonio. That's no picnic.
No picnic at all. but we also lost to Houston before then.
Well, we talked about both Houston games.
Good job. San Antonio's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see because, like, you know when you see you see young teams that have good players, and you always say, man, they if they just had somebody who can like kind of pull it together, then they could be a problem. And so when I saw them be able to get Chris Paul, I thought that was a game changer for them. And it has been a game changer. I think their young talent is as good as anybody else's in the league, and they really with Castle and with Wembanyama, of course. What's the crazy here? Used to the number 10.
Oh,
I'm the worst with names. Sohan with him. The shooting kid from Ohio State, number 22. I told you, bro. I just want y'all to understand this. For whatever reason, I have an issue with remembering last names, but I can remember every jersey number of the player that I'm talking about, and it's in one hand I try to see if I say it's like, oh, it's just amazing talent that I have, but on the other hand, it's like, bro, what is wrong with your brain that you just can't remember last name? Brannard.
Who?
Brannard. He's from Ohio State, man. Yeah. You didn't do your research yet.
The game's not till tomorrow.
We gotta do stuff today.
I took today off, man.
Champagne or something like that. They got him. He's on this team.
He's on this team too.
Jesus.
Jeez. All right. Well.
So it's going to be. Other words, it's going to be.
You think I'm going to talk about any of those guys tomorrow?
I hope not, because if you do, then things not going well.
Hey, Taylor Jenkins said, guard him.
But no, I think it'll be really interesting to see, and it's been to just take so long to be able to even play against them.
Yeah,
to go this late into the season.
Yeah.
This team looks soft, and I don't know if that is like that to you, but they just look like if you show a little aggressiveness, they kind of shut down a little bit.
Dude, you got too many guys that cannot cut it when it matters. The Rockets didn't put a single guy on the court tonight that they couldn't throw out there in the playoffs and do their job. You had a whole ass lineup out there tonight that you can't count on to do that. Yep. And that's not to say these players are bad. It's not to say these players won't eventually be able to do it. Some of them are young. But, dude, you got guys out there that cannot get the job done. You don't have good enough players you can count on when it matters most. A full 5 guys out there that you cannot trust in these moments. Houston doesn't. Oklahoma City doesn't. The Celtics don't. The Cavs don't. You got to make moves or you're not ready.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Ime Udoka coached his ass off last night, excuse my French, and coached circles around Taylor Jenkins. Like, it was great that Ja played 37 minutes, Jaren played 34, and Desmond played 30, but it was the wrong 37 minutes. If Ime Udoka can figure out that Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green and Cam Whittemore need to sit the start of the fourth quarter and then play the final 10 minutes of it, Taylor Jenkins in year 6 should have that figured out. If you're not seeing it at this point, it's because you're choosing to close your eyes that these goofy lineups that we continue to run out in fourth quarters are losing us basketball games.
No, he played the correct amount of guys. Like, he played 8 dudes over 25 minutes. They were just the wrong
at the wrong time.
Yeah, like minute. And we like TJ here, but it's like you're doing everything that the math says you should be doing. You're playing the right amount of guys. You're playing them the right amount of minutes, but you have no feel for when those minutes should be played.
Tune into The Daily Grind with your host, Lute Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, Ant Edwards was fined for the 5th time this year. It was fined $50,000 for giving the finger, and it was during our game.
I know.
You saw the video, didn't you?
I did. And
Did he give the finger at the official, or was it just kind of a giving the finger at the moment and he got caught? I mean, what happened?
I hear the thing about it is I don't know if he was doing it at the ref, the moment, but at some point in time, you got to stop being a sideshow though, as being the star of the team. like I don't want my star of the team to also be the guy that every week we got to deal with. Are you cursing during the interview? Are you throwing the bird during the game? Are you just be the star of the team and go win basketball games? Like all the extra stuff that he's done this year for whatever reason. Now, listen, you can be who you are. I'll never tell you not be who you are, but you are still in the business of basketball. Like, so yes, you go out and play, but it's still the business of basketball. Like, so all the extra stuff I think just is unnecessary at this point. Whoever you were doing that, you know that they're not going to allow you to put the finger up at anybody at any point during the game. Like, even if you're just playing the game, you and your boys like, hey, what up? They're like, hey, whoa, check, you can't do that.
Right.
Like, there's just
how much I wanted to do it to Draymond.
How much we've all wanted to do it at some point in time. It's like, bro, but for us to just be at the halfway point, to have as many incidents as he has had. You said 5 times, fine 5 times.
Yeah, $285,000.
I guess that's for a reason. Like, what's
$285,000? Jeez,
to get across some points that are just still, you could have got across the same point just saying it regular.
Yeah.
Like even for all of these dudes that get up there at the press conferences and now the cursing and all that, for what reason? Like, it's not something that you can do. Like, it's one thing to be like, damn, or something, but it's like, I don't know. But I guess, like, I stop being old school.
Zion got suspended again. He was late for a flight.
They say because he's going through Wendy's. Do you see that picture?
I did see. I don't know if that's true, but there are reports that say that this wasn't like a first time thing. Well, and coach even had said it wasn't a first time thing. It was a thing. It led up to the suspension for a game. He was back one game, dude. Come on.
I'm sorry, like, and the thing I'm proud of Willie Green for being like, it's unacceptable. And the thing about, if he was suspended for a game, it lets you know that it wasn't just one time.
Right.
Like, we're not suspending people for a game for being late. We've all been late here and there, and whether they want to take off and leave you and you got to get your own way there, or you're not getting suspended a game for just being tardy one time. He's been tardy to the party.
Tardy to the party. How many times were you late?
Not a lot, because that costs money.
Were you late for much of anything? I mean, like practice or?
No, those are fines.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there are steps and levels to this before you get to being suspended for a game. Whether it's being late to planes multiple times, or it's being late to practice, whatever it is, there were multiple things that have happened to lead to a game suspension.
I have never been late for the plane because it is the most terrifying thing in my life on a daily basis, is being late for that plane, because you know what? They'll leave without me.
Well,
hey, Fish ain't here. All right, close the door. There they go.
I haven't been. I push.
I've never been close to being late. I'm over early because I fear it. Yeah.
And the thing for me is I don't like to get there and just be sitting there waiting forever.
It's terrible.
For whatever reason, I wait until a good enough time to same way when I sit down before it's time to get started on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Butler's suspension ends Thursday. Then what?
Hopefully he's traded. If not, then it's going to be an ongoing story. And I wonder how his teammates even feel about the whole situation. Was he playing hard? Was he not playing hard? Did they understand the joy side of it, what he said, but like, are you still going out there at least and giving the best for the rest of us?
Right.
And now if that wasn't happening, then they'll have a big issue with him coming back.
BK and I started last week what we do each year here on the podcast, and that's make picks for the NFL playoffs. And Brevin is always rather amazing. I had a really good week last week. Against the spread, I was 4-2 in the 6 games of the first round of the playoffs. Brevin picking winners straight up was
6-0.
6-0.
Watch out.
6-0. Are you serious? Anything? Did you get to watch? Did we get to watch much? I don't remember. What did we watch? We did get to see the Washington Tampa game.
That was a
fun game to watch.
That was a barn burner. And to win it with the kick still hitting the upright. Imagine you missed that one. Jeez.
Ooh.
That would have been rough.
Yeah, no kidding. So that was fun. Good for Washington. Eagles with a big win over the Packers. Buffalo beat Denver. Baltimore just – your Ravens owned the Steelers and controlled that game, and Derrick Henry's just amazing.
That was what I'm glad you mentioned it, because it's the reason why I'm a Ravens fan at this point. I told you I've admired Derrick Henry for a while now. That's why I went over to the Titans when he came to the Titans, and so to watch somebody be able to run over people and run away from people, that's like, I guess we would say like Earl Campbell used to run, or when Walter Payton used to run with that type force, as much as they take contact, but then his ability to then just be gone is.
Yeah, somebody told me the other day, they're like, he's just looks like he's in slow motion. And I looked at him, I said, until he's not.
Right, until those defenders, when he had to run up the middle, literally the defenders, they were right there. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, oh no, let me put this down.
Another gear.
And gone.
He's unbelievable. All right, so picks this week, there are 4 games.
All right,
we're down to our final 8 teams. We got the Chiefs are 8-point favorites over the Texans at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Chiefs, the 2-time defending champions of the National Football League.
I'm not ready to pick that upset.
No.
I mean, they somehow they've been winning it. I know the Texans figured some things out when they hadn't figured them out all season, but they also play inside all season.
Yeah.
They go on the Arrowhead. There's just something about Mahomes and how they're able to win. So I'm going with Kansas City.
And although Kansas City has won all their games very close, I will still be taking Kansas City minus the 8 points against the Houston Texans. Detroit is favored by 9.5 over Washington. I love Jaden Daniels. I loved watching him play the other night and get that win against Tampa, because he's such a special young talent that I think is going to be awesome. But I think it comes to an end this week. Detroit's going to beat Washington. I'm going to root for Washington to keep it close, but I don't think they're going to. I'm taking Detroit minus the 9.5. I'll lay the 9.5 for Detroit. I think they win double digits easy.
Wow.
Yeah, they're that good. I think Detroit's the best team in football. And it's playoff time, and they're going to be here. Dan Campbell's going to have them so jacked to play. I think they'll cover it. Yeah.
Jesus. 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
Well, I don't do the points thing. Detroit is just so damn good.
They are.
I mean, I so you know how much I want to ride with my NFC East. I really do. But I'm going to go with Detroit. I mean, and it's just the way. The only thing that gives me a little pause is Detroit's defense can be a little leaky.
Sure.
And Washington can score points, but I just don't know if they can score enough points. So I'm going with Detroit, but I wouldn't, if I was a betting man, I would not. I would take the Redskins and the 9 points if I was betting.
The Commanders.
Oh God, dog. Commanders. And I get in so much trouble. I keep saying that. Commanders. I'm sorry, Commanders.
Rams are at the Eagles. Eagles are favored by 6.
Where's my quarterback?
Matt Stafford with the Rams. Yeah.
Eagles going down.
Oh.
Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford, They're going in and getting it done.
I'm taking the Rams also.
You
plus
know
the 6
why I'm
points.
taking them?
Because Orlovsky.
My boy Dan Orlovsky.
That's right.
Told me that's where I should go.
And then the game of the weekend, Baltimore, a 1-point favorite at Buffalo. Ooh, man, this is
How
a
was that
good
not?
one.
How was that not the AFC Championship?
That
That would have been such a nice championship game.
5:30 Sunday night football. Baltimore 1-point favorite on the road at Buffalo.
Are we playing that day?
Sunday? No, we're off.
Oh my God! Oh,
we're off
yes.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, I'm definitely have the wings for that game.
Glorious.
The wings will be nice and ready for that. I am going to roll with, of course. Y'all already know number 22, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens going into Baltimore with the Bills Mafia and getting the W. Lamar solidifying his third MVP.
I haven't made a decision on what I'm going to bet on this game yet.
Okay.
But for the sake of the show, I will pick Ravens because I'm leaning towards Ravens at this point. I think Derrick Henry makes all the difference in the world.
Yep.
And I think Buffalo has a home field advantage when they're playing against teams that don't play in the cold. That ain't going to affect Buffalo or Baltimore at all.
Zero. And they got the running game in case the weather is inclement.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. There are our picks for the divisional round of the Shield this weekend. College football championship, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Who you like in this one?
I love Petey. I really do. Petey's my guy.
Yeah.
Y'all know how much I love Petey. He's a Notre Dame guy, but
I know.
that dog on Ohio State.
They're good.
And I just don't Notre Dame. But that's why you go with the underdogs, baby. I'm rolling with Notre Dame. Let's go, Marcus. Let's get it.
I think Ohio State's the best team in college football. Best team assembled in college football, at least. They haven't played like it all year.
Right.
Didn't play like it, I don't think, in the first half last week. I'm taking Ohio State. I'm giving 8 points. Wow. Taking the Buckeyes. But that damn Notre Dame team just
sometimes
they just find a couple of big plays to beat you. And can they find a couple of big plays to beat Ohio State? I guess it wouldn't surprise me. But Ohio State should, on paper, win this game and cover.
Well, how about this? And I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview that it's going to be some type of special teams activity that gets Notre Dame over the top, or at least makes a big play that then leads to a possession that goes from there.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. All right, baseball note. I got a baseball note for you.
This is low on my total poll for me.
2 New York Yankee fans who grabbed Mookie Betts' wrist while he made a catch at the wall during the World Series. Remember that?
Yeah.
They've been banned indefinitely from MLB stadiums. All of them. Baseball wrote in a letter to the fans that the incident posted a serious risk to the health and safety of a player, went far over the line of acceptable fan behavior based on your conduct. MLB is banning you indefinitely from all stadiums, offices, and other facilities. They could be arrested for trespassing if found on MLB property. How about that?
I'm glad they made that statement, because the thing is that there are certain sports where there's interaction where there's some type of honor code that you think will be there.
Basketball.
That's what I'm saying. But the way that you interact without any type of equipment on,
right,
that you get close enough to fans that you feel as though, me as a player, I'm not going to do something to you as a fan. You're not going to do something to me. And what they did, as that was stated, was, I mean, it was excessive.
If they tried to grab the ball, that's fine. But they grabbed his wrist.
And then held on to it. It wasn't just like I was trying to get the ball and I just happened to grab your wrist in the interim and I let it go. I think it fits what happened.
Yeah. All right, got a couple of toasts.
All right.
One, we did this already in Los Angeles, but I'm doing it again because, as I told you yesterday, when I'm in a police escort,
Oh,
it takes me back to being a child. And I was even trying to think of it yesterday. And I think maybe it was my first like memory of a police escort I remember is my grandpa's funeral. And I was like 6. But all I could do was look out the window. I was just fascinated by the police cars and the whole deal. And when I was a little kid, I was a huge fan of Chips, on TV.
heck yeah.
So I wanted to be a policeman. My uncle was a policeman. And so then whenever I would be around a police escort, and you saw me again on the bus yesterday, we're getting a police escort from the hotel, and I can't stop like looking out the front window and just big smile on my face. But shout out Houston Police Department.
Yeah.
Because it was fantastic, the help getting us to the arena yesterday. So shout out. And former Grizzlies assistant coach Sonia Rahman, hired by the New York Liberty of the WNBA.
Yes.
Congratulations to her. She's wonderful. Wish her nothing but the best. And she's joining a championship team. So good for Sonia Rahman.
Yeah. We miss you also, Sonia. Congrats.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So wish her nothing but the best. All right.
I got one.
Yeah.
I'm going to shout out to. It's been my buddy for a lot of years. Sometimes people are cool that we run through in this job, and we've talked about golf forever. And the reason why I played where we played in Houston today was because my buddy Richard Martinez, he's our A2 on the crew in Houston. And so we played with his son Jason today, Eric and I. So I gotta give him a toast and a shout out for getting us out to the beautiful golf club of Houston today.
Mm-hmm. We're playing here in San Antonio, right?
Yes, we're playing. We're doing TPC here.
Okay.
We got TPC. Be a nice test, TPC San Antonio. And then we're gonna play over at the Quarry, which is fun. It's always nice to play there because it's literally a quarry that the golf courses they've made it through.
Yeah. Thus called the Quarry.
It's a tough one.
We will we'll have 2 with San Antonio, and then MLK Day and the game and the celebration have just snuck up on us. That game is Monday.
That came out of nowhere. I promise you. Like whenever we look at the schedule, we see it. It's like, all right, that's gonna be cool, but it's like, oh, it's so far away. and now it's like,
Here it is.
It's here. This weekend. Get ready. It'll be all type festivities this weekend.
Yeah.
And then Monday will be fantastic, and it should be nothing less than what we saw in the first matchup between the Wolves and this Grizzlies team. Back with the Timberwolves again.
That Mike Conley. Saw him again the other night. Said, "How you doing?" He goes, "Just hanging in there. Maybe a couple more years."
Him and Jeff Green.
Good for y'all.
I love it. So happy for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us in this edition of Night Court. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show. And don't forget, you can watch the Night Court podcast each and every week on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. And just search Night Court and you'll be able to watch the episode each and every week. And you can listen wherever you catch your podcasts. And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at the Fish Nation. Brevin's at Brevin Knight 22. For BK, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.